get to it. I'm doing these evening streams. We might be coming up on the end of PT. I dug up my notes from when we first got into the PT game, and they don't have any appointments beyond tomorrow. So it's gonna be an interesting day. It was funny. There was a thing last week when it was all messed up and we were at the different location and it was really throwing the therapists off. Um, there was a guy who was like doing his last PT, and the guy was like, "Oh man, this is weird that it's like it's over," and his mostly felt like an emotional weird, like he's just like, "Oh, like I'm more or less recovered, so I'm happy with my PT being over," where I'm like, don't really feel like I'm recovered. I feel like I'm gonna get like a bunch of instructions that are like, do this for the next 5 weeks. See you later. So we'll see. I don't like. I still got a pain in my forearm. I've got a pain in my lower bicep on the side, like in a weird spot that's never like hurt before. Still got a pain up on the long head of the bicep, something like that. The up near the top here, and I get a click in my shoulder now when I raise my arms over my head, and I just don't know. Uh, Basically, the responses I get when I've been complaining about these things for weeks and weeks was, well, did you hurt yourself? Like, did you injure something? Well, it hurts, but I don't think I'm injured. It affects my ability to like do certain things. Like, I think clicking shoulder is like, well, okay, is something gonna happen there? Because it's clicking. You can really easily go on the internet and find like, yeah, your arm's gonna explode. Your knees click. It's because your patella is gonna fly off and hit somebody in the eye. So you think I could ask a professional physical therapist help and or diagnosis or let's be fair. There was a point where it was like, okay, well, we could do a diagnosis, but that's gonna cost you money. We're gonna have to do a diagnosis. We're gonna have to schedule a diagnosis and stuff. I'm like, don't like that. It wasn't like that before. We did a surgery and we're doing physical therapy to recover from it, and now it acts like that. Not super happy. Nope. Come on. Think we've got a lot of programs on hiatus, so I'll probably be doing a lot of solo streams and recordings. Cray's really struggling with his work, and when he gets home, he's just in no mood to do a thing. Andy's very sick with his allergies, so he's been out for over a week. He doesn't know when he'll be back, and haven't been able to get CD in for a thing. He's very busy with work as well. So we're gonna have to do some solo streams or maybe pick up the Star Wars stream like we were doing before. Figure out something here. I don't like having a lot of plans and just letting weeks after weeks slide by and not doing them. It's like that's how you wake up and a decade's gone by and you're like fucked. You need to work. You need to do your shit. If someone gives you PT exercises and says do these for the next 8 weeks, and you're like, well, I'll start next week, or I don't really, I'm pretty tired. Oh, my surgery hurts and everything. It's like, you gotta fucking do this shit. You got to record, or you can just not do it and go do something else. But personal responsibility is a thing, as far as I'm concerned. And if you don't do it, it doesn't matter if like work sucked and you can't show up. doesn't, like, no one's gonna give you credit on these things. You make a video or you don't, you complete a project, you do your PT. Um, yeah, I mean, you have to do them or they don't get done. Uh, it's probably hard for some of the younger folks out there to understand. Is like there's a lot of systems and stuff in place when you're growing up and you're younger and you're going through college and you're at, low tier starter position jobs, and it's like it feels like the world goes on without you, and it does, but like your part of the world only moves with you unless you get fucking lucky, like fine. But we're not, I don't think it's a plan to just kind of sit at home, eat a cheese sandwich, and like hope someone does a scratcher lottery ticket for you. And like Jesus, you have to do the work. Um, yeah, or things just will slide by. I don't know what to say. It might feel like, at school you can be like, well, I was sick, and then they're like, okay, and it doesn't really feel like there's any consequences. It was really weird growing up. I was sort of on the other side of this argument with my mother. Every now and then, you don't feel like going to school whether you're sick or not. You're like, I'm sick, and then you don't go to school. And my mom was always why wouldn't you just go every day um, to school? Why, And I was like, I don't know, I don't know what your experience was with school. And she's like, well, I went for like it was something crazy, like maybe might have been, I don't think it could have been through high school, but it could have been like first through eighth grade. She never missed a day of school and would get like awards. She would get some kind of commendations from like the mayor or some weird, something that feels weird now. Maybe it wasn't so weird back then. But she would get these awards that are like never missed a day of school, fifth grade, never missed a day of school, all the way through like the eighth grade. And like maybe that had some help with me. She was like trying to get into a decent high school or a college or something. But I was like, like I just don't want to go. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't feel like it matters. It feels like it matters a lot more like when you're in college, when you're going to like university level stuff, and you're interested and you're learning, and every class is like teaching a new aspect, and it's like moving forward at a pace, and you're like, oh, I missed that day. That starts to happen. That starts to happen when you go to jobs too. Like, oh, there was a meeting. Didn't you get the memo? Didn't you go to the meeting where we are all told like not to do whatever fucked up thing happens, was disseminated informationally. Like, oh, nobody sent me an email. Didn't you get the memo? Didn't you go to the meeting? I mean, you just have to keep doing this stuff. Because the I see traction and I see numbers on the site when I keep up the good work. Um, you have to post videos, and eventually you'll find something that has some traction, and then you have to decide, oh, well, do I do more of that? The Final Fight videos have a little more traction than my usual stuff. Cool. You know, I'm probably going to put up another one of those with Babyhead, because I haven't seen anybody do like a run through with that character, and I happen to like that character design. I don't know, it wasn't really that great in the old game, but what are you going to do? Playing a bunch of Ori, playing the second Ori now, it's very, very different. It has a bunch of the old power ups showing up, and yet I say very, very different. It feels like somebody saw Hollow Knight and was like, oh, we can make a really good game, and just like crammed a bunch of Hollow Knight stuff into it. Like, you literally have like a sword that beats people up, and it's very odd. There's a lot of like certain enemies behave in similarities. You have sort of like a pogo with your weapon. Yeah, I don't get. You have a whole system that's like the badges systems from Hollow Knight. It also just feels like bigger and more chore-y, like a big. There's a lot of little teeny stories going on, quests, where people are like, "Oh man, I dropped my compass, go get it," and you're like, "Okay," and they push you in the right direction. They give you little rewards. It's a way of for them to kind of guide you along. And oh, well, there's an icon over there. You probably should go there. And then you're like, you get a little reward for going there, and it's like that's the way to go to get the game to keep going. So, not the it's not bad, but it was like, oh, I thought maybe I wanted more Ori, and this has like the trappings. It's also so graphically dense that I like lose my character sometimes. I wonder if I would be happier turning down the graphics. They have like a real soft effect on all the fonts. Like it's like probably supposed to make them look nice, and I'm like, they're blurry. Stop making them blurry. Like, they're not. They are blurry, but they're not. It's not like they're blurry by accident. They're blurry on purpose. Um. Anyway, yeah, we'll find out more tomorrow, and I'll do a late night. I'm gonna do late night ones all this week instead of the daytime ones. See how that does for me, and we'll find out. As far as I know, tomorrow's the last day. It makes so little sense to me that it's the last day that I swear I'm going to go in and be like, so this is our last day. He's going to be like, no, we have 2 more weeks, or we're supposed to schedule more or something. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's going to be like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh well. But yeah, I mean, so if that's true, then we may see a reduction in these videos since we're done with the actual PT. And I might do more of a 2 or 3 times a week check-in style video, and stop doing the daily vids. But we'll find out tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. Thanks.